Hey all, Natalie here for a cherry on top, and it's Technique Tuesday, and this month we are focusing on layers. So I've grabbed my Cocoa Vanilla Sunkissed collection along with a few other stash items that are very summery. That kaleidoscope stamp from Catherine Pooler, that dot stencil from Kaisercraft, and we're going to talk about creating layers on your page. So I have a layer of gesso on this white cardstock first, and I'm going to predefine an area with water. And my first layer is going to be watercolor. I like to do mixed media, but you can use any kind of medium here. So you could make your first layer like some kind of acrylic paint. There's all different stamping ink, anything like that. I chose to make it this watercolor spray. So I'm gonna do like a sunset variant or gradient along the background here. So my next color is gonna be like this peachy orange. And I want it to keep some of the color out, but also mix a little bit with the pink as well. So that's why I'm just kind of keeping it controlled with the spinning of the paper and also using my brush. I added a little bit more there. I'm gonna sop up some of the ink with a paper towel so that it just doesn't get a little too unmanageable while I'm spreading it around the page. And then I'm going to go in with this like brighter orange color. And these are shimmers, but you could also use all kinds of things. You could use distress sprays. You could use the Dina Wakley sprays, or you could even use like Prima watercolors. That's like a sorry, that's not right. Sunset Boulevard. It's like a yellow color there at the bottom. So, you could roll some paper towels over this to sop it up, but I do want my colors to be pretty vibrant. So I do let them sit on the page for a little while and dry of their own accord. So next layer is going to be stamping. A lot of times, oh, sorry, I lied. The next layer is going to be splatter. And literally I'm using the exact same colors, tone on the same colors that I put the watercolor. But because I don't spread them out and dilute them with water, the colors stay more vibrant. And the longer you let them sit on the page, the darker they'll be. And so you're literally using the exact same pigment ink, but you are getting another depth of layer of color on your background. So this is a technique that I use all the time. It's super fun and easy. So yeah, I just go through all the colors and add the splatter with the same watercolor sprays that I used for the background. And then we'll do stamping. So there you can see, there just added another dimension of color. So now I'm going to grab some ink pads that are in similar colors, and I'm using this kaleidoscope stamp, and I'm just going to kind of lightly stamp all over the background in just different little sections, just like it's peeking through. I don't know the way to describe it, but you can go through, because you have gesso, and kind of watercolor these stamps a little bit and get rid of any rough edges. But it just adds this layer of texture onto your two-dimensional page. So you could also do this with black ink, and it would make a really dramatic statement, which I also love. But for this bright summer page, I didn't really want to introduce black on the background. So there's my photo of my two boys in the pool. And I knew that in my background was going to be pretty busy, so I chose this very small dotted stencil. This is from Kaisercraft, and it just gives these really cute textures. I actually considered using the same stamping inks to tint my texture paste, but I decided the bright pops of white on that colored background would look nice. So I'm just kind of sporadically putting them around. This is Matte Ranger texture paste. It dries super fast, and it just gives a really great dimension. And it's another layer to our page here. So we'll let that dry, and it literally takes less than a couple minutes to dry. And there's my photo. So my idea is I'm going to pop it up. I'm going to use a foliage around it, right? So that's the next layer, is going to be die cut layers. So I use this fun foam to pop it up. I actually am going to use 2 layers of it. But I I decide after the fact that I want to use pattern paper, but I go in and that foam comes off pretty easily. So I have the printed die cuts from Sunkissed by Coco Vanilla Studio. And then I have these lime green die cuts that I ran through my Sizzix Big Shot with some different little thin-lit dies from Sizzix and from Tim Holtz, which they are from Sizzix as well. So in the Sunkissed collection, they have this gradient paper that is similar to my background. So I decide that it needs to be the border of my photo. And so luckily my photo came off of those foam bits pretty easily. And so I'm just going to trim it down and stick it back on the foam. There's 2 layers of foam there. And that way I can stick the die cuts around the photo, peeking out from the photo, but it keeps that pink and orange background close to the photo as well. So I like that. It's kind of like you have the pink and orange, then you have the green bits coming out, and then you have more pink and orange. So just adding another layer here. So we have our pattern paper layer, and now we're going to go in with, I got to do a title. So I grabbed that older sticker sheet, and I'm just going to use the word Good Times and put it on my negative space of my photo. On the sticker sheet, they also had some palm fronds and green leaves. So I thought that would be good to layer behind the title and mimic the layers of the die cuts that I'm going to put around the picture. And at first I thought I was going to put die cuts kind of like all around the picture, but it ends up being concentrated more here in the bottom right hand corner and going over to the left. It was just a little too much, and I wanted my background to show through. So I'm just alternating between the printed die cuts and the cardstock die cuts. I'm just sticking a little bit of glue on the stems and sticking them under the pattern paper, but I am leaving the tops of them unglued so I can lift them up, and you'll see me do that there in a minute. So just building layers onto the page. So you build layers onto a 2-dimensional background, and then you build layers 3-dimensionally. So this is doing so 3-dimensionally. And I just love layers. Like, you'll see a lot of my pages have that. I can't do just like a 1 level background usually. Yeah, so you're just gonna watch me stick those under here for a little bit. I like the pops of white that the printed die cuts have around them and how that contrasts with the cardstock dies. And I also, that's why I liked the solid color background and just the white around the edges from the paper, because I knew I was going to have those pops of white in the stickers and the die cuts. So I did go in and I added one of the florals, an orange one, and you'll actually see me here in a minute add a few more, but I do tuck them under the die cut leaves just so they peek out. I didn't want them to be like a really big element because I wanted mostly the greenery. Foliage is like my go-to when I'm layering things, because you can put foliage with almost anything and it looks good and like it is meant to be there, if you know what I mean. So I go through my die cut pack. That was like the die cut floral pack that I just used. And then there's also just a die cut element pack. And I am about to dive into that and grab a few more things. So there you see me just tucking in a couple of the orange flowers. And I find a palm tree that needs to go in there, and also like a drink umbrella that's orange that I want to use. And I really try hard to make some die cuts fit up there in the pink section in the top left hand corner, but then I decide that nope, we're just gonna leave that. And I worked with it for a really long time before I decided that nope, it was just gonna stay plain, because while I do love a lot of texture and dimension and layers, there also needs to be a place for your eye to rest. And so I decided that that top left corner was a place for my eye to rest. And you can read the page from the top left, and then you go down to the title and see the photo and everything. So I have that orange die cut there. I'm just going to cut it in half because I didn't need the whole thing, and stick that there. And the last bit's just going to be my essential gems. Oh, sorry. I'm going to add a couple puffy stickers. So just one more layer of dimension. These are puffies. And so that's another thing that I like to do. So I have like die cut stickers, and I have flat stickers, and I have puffy stickers. So just kind of mix and matching the textures of the elements and embellishments that you add to your page. Lastly, I am going to add my gems, And that's it. I hope that you have learned a little something about layering things up and gotten some good ideas of them. There'll be links down below to the store and the items. And let me know if you have any questions. I'll be looking out for this. Follow me on Instagram at Delightfully Crafty and also my YouTube channel. And yeah, happy shopping. Add a cherry on top. Thanks for watching, y'all. Bye.